Okay, so I'm here, same spot. I'm gonna go in there in a minute. I just wanted to show you. Look how cool the stadium. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you the sunset as well. Look at the sunset, so nice, so pretty. Let's go in there. All right, I'm in here. I ended up today. I ended up going to the gym. Had a really good workout. Did back, chest, and shoulders. It was really good, really productive. While I was working out, I also watched a video from two videos actually. One video from a guy that is he travels the world. He used to travel the world a lot, like backpacking around the world. And the video was about creating content and how you should create content just because, you know, it's a really good way to, I think, create a new skill. In my view, in my perspective, you can learn how to edit the videos, how to articulate better, articulate your thoughts, storytelling. I think I said that. Storytelling, video editing, articulating your thoughts and arguments in a good way. What else? I think it's just a good opportunity as well to put yourself out there and conquer your shyness. And I don't know, I feel like I'm a little shy, at least with the camera, in front of a camera. I'm talking to a camera right now. That's crazy, or it seems crazy, but this is a good way to, I don't know, display my interests as well. And the other video I watched was about this guy, Victor Fontana. He's a Brazilian pastor, but he was not debating. He was responding to an atheist lady in Brazil. And I thought that his response was really good, which was about I forgot the name of the theory, but it's something that is kind of like the place the geographical impact of culture in your faith. And he had a really good response. And I thought it was really interesting. And he argued why that is not a good argument for atheism. And he gave the reasons. And I thought it was really interesting, really good. He kind of made me realize that I need to be more invested in my faith. And today, I want to go over the parable of the three servants. This is what the video is going to be about. It was just a brief introduction. Well, if you don't know me, my name is Mateus Guedes, and thanks for watching. Thanks for staying over here until now. And right now I'm going to get into what I actually want to talk about. And yeah, let's do it. I'm going to read the passage, and then I'm going to give my thoughts. Let's go. Sorry if I messed that up, if I misread something or if I stutter. or if I reread something, it's just because I want to make it clear. And yeah, this is going to be the reading. Let's go. Parable of the three servants. Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 and on. Again, the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. He called together his servants and entrusted his money to them while he was gone. He gave 5 bags of silver to one, 2 bags of silver to another, and 1 bag of silver to the last, dividing it in proportion to their abilities. Then he left on his trip. The servant who received 5 bags of silver began to invest the money and earned 5 more. The servant with 2 bags of silver also went and worked and earned 2 more. But the servant who received 1 bag of silver dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. After a long time, their master returned from his trip and called them to give an account of how they had used his money. The servant who he had entrusted 5 bags of silver came forward with 5 more and said, "Master, you gave me 5 bags of silver to invest, and I have earned 5 more." The master was full of praise. "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." The servant who had 2 bags of silver came forward and said, "Master, you gave me 2 bags of silver to invest. I have earned 2 more." The master said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." Then the servant with 1 bag of silver came and said, "Master, I knew you were a harsh man, harvesting crops you didn't plant and gathering crops you didn't cultivate. I was afraid I would lose your money, so I hid in the earth. Look, here's your money back." But the master replied, "You wicked and lazy servant. You knew I harvested crops I didn't plant and gathered crops I didn't cultivate. Why didn't you deposit my money in the bank? At least I could have gotten some interest on it." Then he ordered, "Take the money from the servant and give it to the one with 10 bags of silver. Those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But for those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. Now, throw this useless servant into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." All right, so this is the parable of the 3 servants. And while I was reading here, you can tell that the master, he gave 5 bags of silver, 2 bags of 5 bags to one, 2 bags to another, and then 1 bag to the other one. And it's saying, dividing in proportion to their abilities. I think that's interesting because it kind of shows that all of us have different abilities, and that doesn't mean that just because someone has more that they're a bad person, or if they have less that they're not worthy. But it does show that they have different skills. And then you can see that the 2 first characters in this story here, in this parable, they went and they knew. Well, first of all, they knew that what was entrusted to them wasn't just their own. They knew that it belonged to the master. So they went and invested wisely. They stewarded what they had wisely. The one who received 5 gained 5 more, and the one who received 2 gained 2 more. But the one who only had 1, I think it's kind of interesting that it tells us here that he, let me find it. Here. Here. But the servant who received 1 bag of silver dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. I think that's pretty interesting that this servant who received only 1, the master knew that he was able to maybe multiply that 1 bag of silver into another bag of silver. Maybe he wasn't as skilled or didn't have the same abilities, but you can see that the master still entrusted something to him and he could have done better, you know. At the end here, the master says, you should have put it in the bank. At least I could have gotten some interest on it. And he called this servant wicked and lazy because he didn't do anything with the bag of silver that he received. On the other hand, you can see that the one who received 5 and gained 5 more, and the one who received 2 and gained 2 more, they received the same kind of response from the master. So the master said, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful handling the small amounts, so I'll give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together. And that was the same answer to both of them. So I think that kind of shows me that the master is not worried about the amount. He's not worried about how much you made back, because he owns all of it. So as long as you're able to, steward what you have well, then that means that you're doing a good job. I do wonder what would have happened if they lost the money, That's something I don't know. Like, imagine the one who earned 5 from the master went to invest and then he lost. He only had 4. He only returned 4 bags of silver. Or, that's just something I don't know. I might have to think more deeply. But yeah, he invited those 2 to celebrate with him. But the one who had 1 bag of silver, he said, you wicked and lazy servant. That is very interesting. And then I have a few notes in this study Bible that I have. It's pretty interesting here. It says on chapter 25, verse 19, after a long time, and I'm just going to read what it's saying here. The indefinite time reference hints that Christ's own return may be far off. After Jesus ascended to heaven, much of the church was expecting his return. When this did not happen, they had to be taught how to wait. Parables such as this helped, as did teachings on 1 Thessalonians 4, Peter 3. And then another note here is, let's celebrate together. The servants are not only given more responsibility, they're invited into a relationship with the master. No longer simply servants. Now they enjoy his friendship and respect. Jesus spoke of this same change in relationship in John 15:15. When he told the disciples, I will no longer call you servants. Now you're my friends. Very interesting. What else? Chapter 25:25. I was afraid. The servant implies that his lack of having anything to show for having been entrusted with talent is really the fault of the master. He expects too much and he is too frightening. So he's afraid. I was afraid. The servant implies that his lack of having anything to show for having been entrusted with the talents is really the fault of the master. He expects too much and he is too frightened. Well, very good. I think this is the meditation for the day. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any thoughts or comments, leave it down in the comments, or any observations that I didn't do. You're welcome to say what you think down below. And yeah, it is almost dark outside now, but this is really good. I like making videos. Today is March 29th of 2025, and this week has been my spring break week. And I made a video every day, and I really enjoyed. I think I'm gonna keep doing this. I don't know if every day, but I can for sure post a short video every day, like a verse of the day. And I'm gonna try to keep doing this because I really enjoyed, and it really distracts myself. One of the biggest challenges I have nowadays is scrolling through Instagram. I think I said that in a different video, but scrolling through Instagram and making videos like this, it distracts me from, being on my phone. And it gives me something to do other than scrolling. And I really like it. I think there's a future. And I think that this desire kind of shows me that there's something here that I have to explore. I've never explored this side of things. Oh man, my hip hurts. And yeah, I just hope that this was helpful. If you watched it until the end, leave a like and subscribe. And have a good day. Have a blessed day. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the spring. And yeah, thank you. Bye bye.